Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Yeah.
We're diving deep into the late 19th century Philippines today. You shared some fascinating excerpts.
Yeah.
They really feel like something out of a novel.
Right.
And we're so excited to unpack all the historical and cultural layers hidden in them.
Yeah.
So are you ready to put on your explorer's hat and dive in with me?
Absolutely. These snippets offer a fascinating glimpse into a society brimming with tradition,
Right.
but also on the verge of this monumental change. Life in the Philippines under Spanish colonial rule
Yeah.
makes you wonder
It does.
what it was really like to be there.
I know. And the text just throws us right into the heart of it.
Yeah.
Manila, bustling with preparations for some big event.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the small details.
Yeah.
Those everyday little things
Right.
that I find so captivating.
Uh-huh.
The text mentions bitoon for shoes
Yeah.
and women fanning themselves with abanicos.
Right.
Like, it's just a snapshot of daily life.
It is.
What do you think?
It is. It is. And you're right.
Those details, even though they seem small,
Yeah.
they speak volumes about the social dynamics.
Yeah.
For instance, take the bitoon.
Okay.
It suggests this conscious effort to adhere to European fashion,
Right.
particularly among the upper classes.
Interesting.
So was it a mark of social aspiration?
I see.
A way to navigate this colonial hierarchy?
Mm-hmm.
It really makes you wonder.
It does. And it's not just about appearances either, right?
Right.
The text mentions these votos, these promises made to saints.
Uh-huh.
It seems like Catholicism was really deeply intertwined with everyday life.
Oh, absolutely. The Catholic Church, especially the friars,
okay.
they wielded considerable influence.
Right.
And it wasn't just spiritual guidance. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
The text even subtly reveals how religion shaped social norms.
Yeah.
Seating arrangements at the gathering, for example, men and women separated,
Right.
reflecting the church's presence in even the most ordinary parts of life. Wow. It's amazing how these small details can paint such a vivid picture.
Yeah.
And speaking of vivid,
Right.
we're introduced to some pretty intriguing characters right away.
Absolutely.
Capitan Tiago,
Yeah.
this affluent businessman,
Yeah, right.
his daughter, Maria Clara,
Mm-hmm.
the picture of innocence.
Right.
And then there's Ibarra,
Yeah.
this young man,
Right.
fresh back from Europe.
Yes.
New ideas swirling in his head.
Yeah.
It's like the stage is set for some serious drama.
Absolutely. And let's not forget Padre Damaso.
Oh, right. Yes.
Powerful friar casting a shadow over everything.
Yeah.
The text even hints at a past conflict between him and Ibarra's family.
Okay.
It's palpable, this unspoken tension.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Makes you question everything that's said, every interaction, every look.
It's like watching a play unfold, just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Exactly.
But even before any dramatic climax happens,
Right.
the text makes it clear that this society, it's not perfect.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Not without its problems.
No.
There's this one line.
Mm-hmm.
It says Filipinos need to learn from Europe so they wouldn't be like a plant that cannot stand on its own.
Right.
What a stark metaphor, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's very revealing.
Yeah.
It speaks to the paternalistic attitude of the Spanish colonizers.
Right.
This belief that Filipinos weren't ready for self-rule, that they needed guidance.
I see.
And, you know, some, like Ibarra
Yeah.
might have seen this as a path to progress.
Yeah.
But you can just imagine the resentment it bred,
Totally.
the simmering desire for autonomy among Filipinos.
It's like this underlying tension
Yes.
just bubbling under the surface,
Yeah.
threatening to erupt.
Yeah.
And then, bam, crocodile attack
Yes.
during the festival, no less.
Right in the middle of it all.
I know. Such a jarring, almost symbolic event.
Absolutely.
What do you make of it?
What's no coincidence, that's for sure.
Okay.
The crocodile lurking beneath the surface.
Yeah.
It becomes this powerful metaphor
Right.
for all the hidden dangers, the simmering tensions in this seemingly joyful atmosphere.
Yeah.
Remember, this was a society on the edge.
Right.
And this scene,
Yeah.
it foreshadows the turmoil to come.
Right. And the fact that it was only the pelodo,
Yes.
the steersman, who's the only one who tries to fight it,
Exactly.
that has to mean something, right?
Exactly. That's a really powerful image of individual courage.
Right.
Standing up against these overwhelming issues, these systemic problems.
Opposite.
You have this lone figure
Yeah.
battling a creature lurking beneath the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it represents those who recognize the danger,
Right.
the injustice.
The people who are willing to confront it,
Yes,
even if it means putting themselves at risk,
exactly.
gives me chills just thinking about it.
It's a powerful image.
It is.
Yeah.
Speaking of people trying to make a difference,
Yeah.
we have Ibarra and his idea for a new school.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to represent this drive for progress,
Yes.
enlightenment.
Absolutely.
But it's not easy, is it?
No, not at all.
Ah.
He encounters opposition,
Right.
particularly from Padre Damaso.
Right, right.
And their clash, I think, really highlights this fundamental conflict between tradition and modernity, colonial authority, and the desire for self-determination.
Interesting. See, this is what I love about this.
Yeah.
It's not just historical facts. We're talking about real people with real conflicts.
Absolutely.
Hopes and dreams just clashing head on.
And it's so compelling
It is.
because of that.
And then we have Tazio,
Yes, Tazio.
this village philosopher figure.
That's right.
He seems to represent a different kind of knowledge.
Yes,
You know,
he does.
the kind that some people just ridicule
Uh-huh.
what's going on there.
Well, Tazio, he embodies this fascinating counterpoint
Okay.
to Ibarra's more, you could say, westernized approach to progress.
Interesting.
He represents local knowledge,
Right.
this understanding that's rooted in the land and its people. He makes us consider, could progress be achieved while still preserving cultural identity?
Right.
It's a question that still resonates today.
It does. It really does.
Don't you think?
For sure. And just when you think you have it figured out, Elias enters the picture.
I know, right?
Out of nowhere.
This mysterious figure who saves Ibarra's life and drops these cryptic warnings so casually.
I know. It's like he just
Like it's nothing.
stepped out of the shadows,
Right.
leaving us all wondering, who is this guy?
Who is he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Elias is an enigma, even in these short excerpts.
Right.
He exists outside the established order. He has this unique understanding of everything going on.
Yeah.
He's connected to the land, to the people.
Right.
And his perspective, his knowledge, seem to challenge everyone's narratives.
Yeah. Both the Spaniards.
It's almost as if he represents another layer of this society.
Yes, exactly.
A voice rarely heard.
Yes.
A perspective that's often ignored.
Absolutely.
And his presence just adds this whole other layer of intrigue.
It wouldn't be the same without him.
I know, right?
That's for sure.
It's easy to get lost in the historical details.
Yeah.
But as we really get into these excerpts,
Right.
it's the human drama that really pulls you in.
It is, yeah.
They're not just names in a history book.
Right.
These are real people
Yeah.
dealing with these impossible situations.
Absolutely.
Take Cabanantiago, for example.
Okay.
On the surface,
Yeah.
he's successful, he's influential, seemingly fine with the whole colonial system.
Right.
But you brought up something interesting before.
Yeah.
The text hints at a much darker side to his business,
It does.
right? This whole thing with the opium trade,
Right. Right.
even supplying prisoners.
Yeah, it really paints a different picture of him.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
Here's this devout, Catholic,
Yeah.
respected member of society.
Yeah.
But his wealth,
Right.
it's all tied up in these systems that are causing so much pain.
It is.
Makes you think about the real cost of his comfortable life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It speaks to the compromises that are made in a colonial context.
Yeah.
Like, where do you draw the line
Right.
between making your own way
Right.
and being complicit in this system
It's a good question.
that benefits some at the expense of others?
Yeah, and that question still resonates today.
Absolutely, it does.
It really does.
It does.
And speaking of moral gray areas,
Right.
let's talk about the friars.
Okay.
Padre Damaso,
Yes.
clearly a force to be reckoned with,
He is.
but even Padre Salvi,
Right.
with his quiet demeanor,
Yes.
he's got this unsettling quality about him.
He does.
Don't you think?
The friars represent this fascinating paradox.
I do.
They're spiritual guides,
Right.
educators, maybe even protectors.
Yeah.
But these pieces,
Yeah.
they expose this darker side too.
They do.
The abuse of power,
Right.
corruption,
Mhm.
silencing dissent.
It's like this constant tension,
Yeah.
this feeling that something isn't quite right.
Right, exactly.
Like that mention of Padre Salvi's harsh punishments.
Yes.
The rumors about him and the devil.
Mm-hmm.
It's chilling.
It is. It really makes you think about
I know.
the power dynamics at play
Yeah.
and the fear that was
Yeah.
just ever present in daily life.
Absolutely. And it's even more striking when you consider Maria Clara,
Yes.
this picture of innocence,
Yes.
piety, grace.
Right.
But even she's trapped in this web of expectation.
Absolutely.
You see her and you see this intelligence, this strength, but her choices, her future.
Yeah.
It's all dictated by the men around her.
Exactly. And it makes you think about all the women who lived during that time.
Their struggles.
Their silent struggle.
The things they never got to say, the dreams they had to give up.
Yes, exactly. They're stories that are often lost.
Lost to time.
Because history focuses on the big events.
Right.
But it's important to remember the individuals.
Absolutely.
Stories of resilience, of quiet resistance.
I love that.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then there's Elias.
Oh, Elias.
He's like a ghost.
Yes.
Appearing at these crucial moments. Dropping these warnings.
Right.
As if he's trying to lead Ibarra to some truth.
Yes, Elias is such a compelling character.
He is.
He embodies this simmering rage.
He does.
This resentment of those who suffered under this rule.
It's palpable.
He understands the system,
yes,
but he's trying to break it.
Right. But he's a contradiction, too.
He is.
Because he saves Ibarra's life.
He does.
But he warns him about challenging the very power structures that he's fighting against.
It's true. He's fighting this system that he's also a part of.
It makes you wonder about him even more.
It does.
What are his motivations?
Right.
What's his past?
Right. What made him this way?
And that's what's so captivating about him.
Exactly.
This mystery, this feeling that he knows more than he's saying.
Right.
Right.
He represents a different path.
He does.
A more radical solution.
Yeah.
And that makes the ending of these excerpts even more tragic.
It does.
Yeah,
it does, because you have Ibarra, someone who believed in reason, in progress.
Right.
He's falsely accused, rejected by his own community.
It's awful.
Facing this really bleak future.
I know. It's like a reminder that good intentions don't always win.
They don't.
Especially when they're up against these powerful systems.
It's true. And the text really emphasizes that.
It does.
It's a deliberate downfall.
Right.
The trial, the accusations, the mob turning against him.
It's heartbreaking.
It is. It shows how easily truth can be twisted.
Right.
And how fear and prejudice can be used to control people.
Absolutely.
That scene where they're throwing stones at him as he's being taken away. I know, it's hard to read.
It is, because it shows the insidious nature of colonialism.
Right.
Turning the colonized against each other.
Exactly.
Those people, maybe out of fear, maybe just to survive, they turn on one of their own.
Just for speaking out.
Just for challenging the system.
Right, and that's a really important reminder.
It is.
That the impact of colonialism.
It's profound.
It's so complex.
It is.
It goes way beyond just politics and the economy.
Right.
It shapes how people see the world.
It does.
It divides communities.
Yes.
And those scars, it can last for generations.
Generations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But even in all this despair, with Ibarra's fate uncertain, there's still this glimmer of hope.
There is a little flicker.
Right.
Yes.
Elias escaping.
Yes.
His last words to Ibarra.
Powerful words.
I shall die without seeing the dawn break on my homeland. You who will see it, welcome it. Don't forget those who have fallen during the night.
Wow.
Gives me chills every time.
It's a powerful moment because Elias might be physically gone.
Right.
But his spirit, his message,
it lives on.
It does. It's a call to action.
Right.
A reminder that the fight continues.
It does, even against all odds.
It does, even when it seems impossible.
He's passing the torch.
Yes.
To Ibarra.
To Ibarra and to us.
To us, to keep fighting for a better future.
To carry on the fight.
But what about Ibarra? Does he make it? Does he give in to his fate? And Maria Clara, is she doomed to stay stuck in this society? We'll have to see.
We will.
We're left with more questions than answers.
I know.
And I think that's the point.
I think you're right.
These excerpts, they're supposed to make us think about the complexities of history, the impact of colonialism, and the fight for justice and equality.
Right, like we've stumbled upon just this one piece. It's a much bigger story.
A much bigger story.
One that's so much bigger than these excerpts.
It makes you want to learn more, doesn't it?
It does.
About this period. It makes you want to uncover all the hidden truths, all the untold stories.
It really makes you question what you thought you knew.
Exactly. We're back. And man, these excerpts have been something else, haven't they?
They really have.
We've walked the streets of Manila, met these characters grappling with such tough choices.
I know, right.
And uncovered so much tension, so much going on beneath the surface.
Absolutely.
I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But I need to know what happens next.
Oh, me too. These excerpts, They don't really give us all the answers, do they?
They really don't.
They leave us with this feeling of unrest.
Yes.
Like there's unfinished business.
Exactly.
What happens to Ibarra, Maria Clara, even Elias?
Yeah.
What becomes of them in this world where hope seems so fragile?
It's the big question, isn't it? When we last saw Ibarra, he was on the run.
Fleeing into the night.
Branded a criminal.
By a system completely rigged against him.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder if he ever actually found safety.
Did he ever escape?
Right. Did he outrun the long arm of colonial justice?
It's the million-dollar question, and while we don't get a clear answer in these excerpts,
right,
there are some clues in there.
Yeah, like when even Capitan Tiago, a man of wealth and influence.
Right, if anyone could help, it'd be him.
Exactly, he's scrambling to distance himself from Ibarra.
It's like he's toxic.
It really highlights the fear.
Right.
The understanding that even being associated with someone considered dangerous could ruin you.
Wow. It's like this ripple effect.
Exactly.
Ibarra's actions, his defiance, it's like this earthquake shaking up the entire social order.
It disrupts everything.
And no one is safe.
Not even the powerful.
Exactly. But what about those in power? Like the friars? Did they ever face consequences for what happened to Ibarra?
That's a good question, and these excerpts don't give us a straight answer.
They don't.
But they do show us how deeply ingrained their influence was.
Right, they're untouchable.
Even with all the chaos of the fiesta, the civil guard, they're more worried about protecting the friars
than actually investigating.
Exactly. It speaks volumes about where the real power lay.
So they're basically above the law.
It seems that way.
Their authority is never questioned.
Right, even when their actions directly led to this injustice.
And it wasn't just political power either, was it?
No.
J.P. Salvi using religion to control people.
Absolutely.
Those sermons, the veiled threats.
Remember that chilling mention of the tribunal of the Inquisition?
Ugh, don't even remind me.
Sent chills down my spine just reading it.
I know. Talk about a dark chapter in history.
Just invoking that was enough to silence any opposition.
Absolutely. And it makes you realize why someone like Elias was seen as public enemy number one.
He challenged everything.
He challenged the church, the government, their whole system.
He was a threat to their power.
Right. Because he dared to imagine something different.
Exactly.
But even he, with all his knowledge, all his skills,
he couldn't escape the reality of the situation.
It's heartbreaking. His final words to Ibarra are just.
I know, right? I shall die without seeing the dawn break on my homeland. You who will see it, welcome it. Don't forget those who have fallen during the night.
Wow.
Gives you chills, doesn't it?
Every single time. It's like he's saying there's still hope for a better future.
Yes, even when things seem so bleak.
A reminder to remember those who fought for that future.
Those who sacrificed everything.
So did Ibarra take his words to heart? Did he escape? Did he keep fighting? Did he find a way to honor those sacrifices?
We're left wondering.
I know, and I think that's the power of these excerpts.
What do you mean?
They don't give us the easy answers. They make us think about history, about colonialism, about this ongoing fight for justice.
It's like you've only scratched the surface.
Exactly. Like these excerpts are just one piece of this huge, complex story.
It makes you want to dive in deeper, doesn't it?
It really does. I want to learn more about this period, uncover all the hidden truths, the stories that haven't been told.
Because the more we understand the past, the better equipped we are to face the present and shape the future.
This deep dive has been quite a journey.
It really has.
From the streets of Manila to the halls of power.
We've seen it all.
We've encountered characters and stories that stay with you long after you finish reading.
It reminds us that the past is never really gone.
Ever gone, no.
It shapes who we are today.
It does. It echoes through everything.
In the stories we tell.
The choices we make.
The world we're creating.
And on that note, we want to hear from you. If these excerpts have piqued your interest, go explore, learn more, dive deeper into the history of the Philippines. Trust us, there are countless stories waiting to be discovered.